Hey, it's Clay, and this will be a video chart on ticker symbol CELZ. We will take a look at the 30-minute time frame. Real quick, what do I mean by 30-minute in case maybe you're new to charts? Instead of each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, representing 1 day's worth of price action, which is what you would normally see, each one represents 30 minutes. So while this here may look like several days worth of time, it's actually today's price action broken down into 30-minute time slices. I like to do this time frame. I think does a good job of telling the quote-unquote story of the price, and then makes mapping out levels of support and resistance a bit easier to see. Did this analysis yesterday, so that's where these green line annotations are coming from. And now as I do the presentation, it's definitely a lot trickier of a chart to talk about. And why do I say that? Well, it's got everything to do with perspective. What do I mean? Well, if you're a day trader, flipper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there, or who knows, maybe you bought right there, and you wanted to sell within 40 minutes after buying, then yeah, for you, the chart looks pretty bad. Now, if you care about the big picture of things, I get it. From the highs, there was a pullback. But big picture wise, there is still plenty of opportunity for the price to build a higher base. And as long as the price builds higher bases over time, well, that's how uptrends are constructed. I'm going to be talking about things from a big picture perspective. So if I sound crazy calling something bullish, my guess would be you probably had more of the day trader slash flipper perspective going into all this. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a second here. But real quick, the one update that does need to be done comes about from a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they do tend to act as resistance. So going into yesterday, or going into today, I should say, I talked about this yesterday, 0.033 was that level of support, but now that the price is broken down below it, as the rule states, you would expect it to act as resistance, and you can see that played out here a couple of times, right there on the chart. So 0.033, definitely that key level and initial area of resistance going into next week. All in all, though, and kind of circling back to the whole big picture point of view, I'm not saying this will happen, but it'll help prove the point. Is let's say this thing actually pulls back some more, comes down to this green line that I talked about yesterday at 0.028, does something like that, and then starts to work its way back upwards. Focus on the words big picture. So from the big picture perspective, what would you have? Well, you'd have a set of lows there. You'd have lows down there. If you picture each of these as stair steps, well, then you'd have big picture stair steps still very clearly going in the upwards direction, and that's the name of the game. Again, I get it. If you're a flipper and you bought right there, or you bought right there, then yeah, you couldn't care less about these stair steps, but that's why I try to offer up a warning about the perspective I would be taking. So sure, today the price pulled back, but stop and think about that word, today. As in 1 day. Looking at multiple days, which is what I'm doing here, you can see the bulls still have plenty of opportunity to build that higher base. So that'll certainly be priority number 1 next week. Build a higher base, so let's see if the bulls can get the job done or not. One of the biggest questions that I get is, hey Clay, how do you find the stocks that you trade? So what I've done is put together a free resource guide where I talk about the tools that I use to locate stocks that I find interesting and think may have potential. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then click on the image that is up on the screen right now and I will email you the guide. The guide itself is very short and to the point, and best part, it's completely free. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have any questions.